allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to table the approval of our minutes because we need the entire board for that. So next up will be public comment. At this time, the board will provide the opportunity for comment on public matters that are not on the main agenda. Of course, baseball's on the agenda. Is there anyone here that's not wanting to comment on baseball? Okay. Then we'll move on. We're going to table the personal activity report because we want the entire board for that. Next up will be business action item of baseball. Pete, are you taking this?
Yep, I'll take it. So obviously our ADs were here. The last board meeting gave a pretty good overview of what all that entailed. Just a couple things to follow up, but there is a motion that presented before you to consider. The one item on there is, the startup costs. So we've asked both Flathead and Glacier to, raise $60,000 together. It's not one school raising 40, not one raising 20, but just a unified approach for startup costs. I think they did a pretty good job of outlining, the budget. There will be some general fund costs for other items that'll come out of the general fund, and that will be incurred over the years, the same way as it with girls softball or football or anything like that. So it'll be part of their normal operating budget throughout the year. They have looked into the fields. They have a lot of support from kids sport using the Babe Ruth field. Obviously, they've been talking with the Lakers too, so they have a lot of support from the Lakers, and then also for the Sluggers from the ABS field. So feel confident that they have a plan to move forward with that. But the direction I've given them is, hey, they need to go through that and solidify that, but to do what's in the best interest of our student athletes. As far as playing, travel, different things like that. One other thing before I just turn it over, also just I think it's important. Matt has been talking about this. Is we keep adding additional sports. So we've added girls flag football. We're adding baseball. We've added wrestling. It stretches our ADs pretty thin. So one thing Matt has been talking about is possibly something along the lines of a TOSA or event coordinator, and just kind of wanted to keep that at the forefront too. Somebody that can help supervise some of these contests, because we are spread pretty thin at the high school level with the ADs, and we keep adding, but we haven't provided any additional support for them. So I think that's rather important to take into consideration too.
Thank you, Pete. Do we have any questions for Pete on the board? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve baseball.
Thank you, Jack.
Second.
Thank you, Will. Any further discussion from the board? All right, seeing none. Public. Okay, go ahead. Can you turn on your mic, Jack?
Good point. Having been here when soccer was brought before the board and approved back in 91, 92, and experiencing flag football, that is just part of the growing sports, and also growing up in St. Louis and seeing how baseball was a high school sport then, as well as Legion ball, and it was very popular there back in the 70s. So it's just an extension of some of the student activities that need to occur, at least from my perspective. So it just makes sense to do it.
Thank you, Jack. Any other public comment? Or not public comment, but board comment? All right, seeing none. If you'd like to make comment from the public on baseball, you can sit at that chair right over there, turn the mic on so it turns red like mine, if you want to. Anyone wanting? Go ahead.
Hello. All right, my name is Zach Pitts. Live here in Kalispell, been here for 17 years, grew up in Ronan. My wife is a Flathead graduate, Melissa Sneck. I don't know if anyone knows her, but um, I've got 4 kids. One of them goes to Columbia Falls. Long story, that's where his buddies were. But I've been able to observe him participating in the high school baseball program, playing in rivalry games against Whitefish and Big Fork. And it's been an incredible experience. These kids, I've coached youth baseball from 5 years old all the way up through 8th graders for the last 11 years. These kids have put in countless hours honing their skills. They love the sport. And I've seen a lot of kids over the years that stopped playing at 12 or 13. The Legion programs are wonderful, but for whatever reason, their parents didn't want to commit, or the kids didn't want to commit to a full summer. And I've seen those kinds of kids come back. And I actually think for the Legion programs, it increases the pool. I saw at Columbia Falls, for example, when my son was a freshman, there were multiple kids that had stopped playing at 12 and 13 that came back out as seniors. And then the sense of pride that it brings to the community, the sense of pride that the kids have to go and represent their school and show the skills that they've developed, I think has been really powerful. So big proponent, think it's a wonderful sport, teaches a lot of, as many of our sports too, but a lot of discipline, mental toughness, teamwork, all of that. And I know there's a lot of support from my experience in the community. And I think the fundraising is going to go well. And just hope it passes.
Thank you. Anyone else want to make public comment on baseball? All right. Seeing none, we have a motion to approve moving forward with baseball. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome to baseball.
Scott, next is hockey.
Okay, perfect. I just want to thank everybody for showing up to show their support for baseball. I'm not a baseball guy. I will support it. I'm a soccer guy. Doesn't interfere with soccer in the spring. So this will be a good addition to our activities. It's always great when we can bring more of our students into activities. So really excited about this. So
And I refereed Scott when he was a player and a coach, and we still get along.
that is true. Yes. So next up, we are gonna table the strategic plan outline. You guys are free to leave if you want now. You don't have to stick around for the rest of our meeting. So, I think it's real important that we have the entire board here to hear the review of our strategic plan and our priority projects. So we're going to table that till the next board meeting. We're also going to table the policy updates. We got information from Lance that it would, because it's district wide, that it's really important that we have a quorum of both boards
Are we
to,
gonna have a record short meeting? Is that
Yes.
where you're leading to?
yes, I think so. We are going to table the elementary consent agenda until next time. But we will move forward with the district-wide consent agenda. So if we've had an,
Yeah, 4 elementary trustees, no?
3.
1.
three, we're 3 and 3. If you've had an opportunity to review the district-wide consent agenda,
Okay.
thank you, Jack. Thank you, Will, for the second.
So the high school trustees taking over.
I know. You guys are awesome. Any further discussion on the district-wide consent agenda? All right, seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Trustee reports. Jack, you got one? Will?
Yeah. I was really happy to go for the baseball edition. A couple of reasons. One, I talked to a lot of folks when we were trying to get the levy passed, and it was all about what we were going to cut. So now we're adding, and it proves to our people that if they vote for that, then good things will happen. And the other reason is because if I vote for the baseball thing, maybe my team will get into the playoffs.
Who's your team?
Yeah. Who's your team, Will?
Mariners?
Oh. Sue?
Actually, I have a fair amount to report. We, MTSBA, had a great trip to Washington, D.C. We saw all 4 of our congressional delegates and had some interesting conversations with them. The big theme this year was, surprise, surprise, local control. And that is part of the reason why they are making the cuts they are at the federal level to education, because they're putting it back into state and local control, which was very encouraging to hear that. Our goal as MTSBA officers this year was to build relationships, because we had 2 new people we had never met before. So that was very interesting. I was impressed with Troy Downing. He had good questions. He understood education concerns. He offered support. So that was very encouraging to meet with him, even though he is not our representative from the western part of the state. It was still very nice to talk with him. Tim Sheehy, obviously a rookie senator this year, not really knowing a whole lot about education. So it was kind of we'll tell him what our concerns are and see what happens. We didn't actually get to see Zinke because he was in his committee, had an important vote. So we talked with his aide, who is very good, and expressed some of our concerns. I did express my disappointment that the Kalispell FFA sign that has always been in his office is no longer in his office. So I'm going to have to follow up on that. Yeah, exactly. And Danes was very supportive of education. We talked a little bit about nutrition, about the E-rate. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Well, mostly local control. So it was a good visit there. I felt pretty positive leaving, and I brought you all back little stickers. I gave them to you. So I choose public schools, which was kind of an interesting sticker to bring around on Capitol Hill, especially with our delegates. But we were politically correct. I didn't wear my hat that says I choose public schools, but it was fun.
It was right.
Yeah, and we got to see the pandas.
Oh.
So that was fun. And I'm also glad to see that we actually tabled the strategic plan talk, because I think it needs a little more time, prep work from the board. I mean, one of our big roles as trustees is setting the vision. And that is the strategic plan. We have a policy 1610 that says we have to meet in June. So we're just a little bit late to review the strategic plan, to review it and to plan for our goals ahead. I think that's really important. One thing we teach in schools is we have to have a target that we are aiming for. This year, I feel like we, as a board, what is my target this year? I don't know. I know personally, I know, what admin's goal is, but I would like a little bit more input from the board on, what our vision is. And you know, I always say it, I have been looking on how we're going to assess PCBE. So, and am I the curriculum chair, board chair, committee chair?
I would have to double check on that.
I looked on that, it was news to me. Because I think that would be a great place to talk about how we're going to look at the progress of PCBE.
Well, and I do think you are like the perfect person to chair that curriculum board with your background and, but that's something that we can discuss too. So if you, are like swamped for time
Yeah,
and with NTSBA stuff, so.
No,
We can talk about it.
I'm not
Actually,
president of,
Sue, you're not on that committee. It's curriculum technology and it's Heidi, Jen Severe, and Will.
and
You're on finance. It's Jack, Sue, and Jen Ryman on finance and personnel.
We were gonna,
I just
we were-
looked it up.
we were gonna swap these two though, curriculum technology, but,
Okay.
so we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You're going. So we'll double
Okay,
check with that.
That's all I have.
Sue, I do have a question for you. If they're talking more about local control, is there any support that the federal government is gonna give to the locals to help support education? I mean, it's,
No,
so, okay.
yeah. There,
Are they gonna dump some more money into the state that the state can then decide to distribute to education?
they have certain things, the federal government has certain things that they fund. Special ed is probably the biggest one, but school nutrition is another. The E-rate program is another. So there's a couple of them that, when they're doing away with Department of Education, there are certain things by statute that they still have to do, have to maintain. And they're just putting those things in different departments. But as far as, are they giving the states more money? Probably not. I wish.
Thank you.
Oh, are you going to talk about the Wednesday
I was hoping
meeting?
you would.
Okay. I went to the School Funding Interim Commission, the Decennial Study Commission on Wednesday, as did a lot of others. They had the 2 meetings. Personally, I was disappointed. Professionally, I was disappointed. I'd seen the same presentation twice before. It's good information, but enough is enough. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. We understand the things we're supposed to be teaching. Very little about funding, I thought. And the way they were soliciting our comments was very engineered. It was multiple choice. And we had to do it on our phones or what devices we had, which you can't truly get people's concerns and thoughts and ideas, from this. You just can't. You couldn't even do talk to text because you're in a big group. It was the usual crowd that was there, which is good and bad. We had an hour and a half. There was there 3 of the Decennial Study Commission there? Becky Beard was there, Matt Schreiber, and I saw one other hand.
Well, Dave Firm is there, but he's not on that.
Right. Yeah, and I thought there was somebody else who raised
I
their.
only saw the 2.
Okay. But anyway, I'm glad we went, that we were all present. I don't know how the second session went. Did any of you guys go?
I heard the same.
And I'm kind of curious. I meant to call my friend down in Billings to see how it went last night in Billings, because they really, that's the largest school district in the state, and they really need to get Billings behind this commission. So I'm kind of curious if they did the same thing. It was last night, yeah. And I forgot to call her, so. I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate the information.
Yeah.
Linda?
Just want to echo what Sue said regarding the strategic plan. I think it's important that we all participate fully in that vision, and I'm glad we're waiting.
I second what Will said about baseball and also what you all said. No, I'm not a Mariners fan. None of your business.
I can talk to you.
I do not have anything.
No, I knew for some.
No admin reports. All right. So upcoming meetings, October 14th and 28th are our next regular scheduled board meetings. Committee report or committee meetings. Technology is Wednesday, October 8th. Insurance committee, Heidi put this on your calendar. You can take it off yours. October 9th at 4. It's going to be remote, Matt. Is that correct? So you can sit. Perfect. And then finance personnel on the 10th. So 8th, 9th, 10th, we have committee meetings.
At the time on the 10th, right?
What's the?
Yeah. 8th is technology committee.
That's curriculum.
I will get with Sherry. We'll send out, I'll chat with her real quick.
I just pulled it up.
I'm going to chat with her about it. We'll update it and get it resend out to everybody. So,
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
so.
It's your clone that's doing it.
We will update. I'm assuming it's at 9, the finance.
Yeah.
Will be at 9 on the 10th, not at 4. In the central office basement.
And is personnel before that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try to get back to all those.
And with that, unless anyone has any questions, Hillary, appreciate you being there. You kind of cleared everybody. We'll take a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Will.
Second.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 28 minutes.